Hello everyone, I'm Renown Zero, and I've had a very interesting day, just clearly exposing the weirdos and the haters of mine that literally sit around hovering around anything I say or do, and this just goes to further show how much the indie comic space is just corrupted with a bunch of drama and bloodsport individuals who really don't care at all about the comic space whatsoever, and the only thing they're really about is just trying to insult people, and they don't really care about comics whatsoever. But I think it's absolutely funny watching my haters just have meltdown over literally anything I say, because, well, calling out their bullcrap with factual statements makes them very angry, and having opinions of different things makes them very angry. But it's interesting that one little tweet could set this whole thing off, and I just love exposing clowns who love to sit there and act as if they actually care about the indie comic space. Meanwhile, I'm promoting more indie comics than they ever do. I actually communicate with indie comic creators on a regular basis, and I promote their stuff if I end up liking their stuff, and I end up buying the stuff and reading the stuff that they put out. But whenever I seem to have some sort of rebuttal to literally anything any of these guys say, it's, oh, I'm the one that's supposed to be the nice one, even after all the nonsense these guys have pulled with me. You know, there are people on the other side of this whole indie space who are okay with doxing my full name on the internet. They're okay with the fact that my family has been doxed before on the internet. They're okay with all of these things. They're okay with threatening to dox me on a regular basis, but the moment I push back, any sort of pushback, I'm supposed to be nice about it. I'm supposed to sit there and take all the vitriol from these clowns on a regular basis, and yet for some reason they can't handle criticism. They can't handle any sort of pushback. They always have to resort to insults, and that's literally all they have left. There's no rebuttals to literally anything I ever say to these guys, and you know, that's about it on the intro here. So we're going to start with this tweet coming from Kami Mark, where he decides that he's going to put a drawing of ISOM crying, even though literally ISOM number 1 made $3.7 million, the biggest pre-order campaign that has been put out there. Meanwhile, just recently he had a book that didn't fulfill. He took money from backers and then had to refund said backers because he had to take his own money. Realize this, he had to take his own money to refund people, not the money he originally collected for the campaign to refund people. No, he had to pull his own money out of his own pocket, and this is something that people literally slide right over, that he had to take his own money, not the original money that he got for the campaign, to refund people, which is sleazy within itself. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he's funded campaigns or put out books before his most recent book. It's the fact that he has to take his own money, not the original money he received for the campaign, to refund people. And I think it's sleazy as all hell. And this is the reason the indie space is so trash right now, because you got individuals like this taking people's money, not putting it to the side like a normal human being would, who's taking money for a project, not fulfilling said project, and then you have to take your own money to refund the people that you took money from that you didn't deliver product to. So I literally go on to say, you have a book you couldn't fulfill. You're an absolute joke. You have no legs to stand on about any indie book. And because you're obviously too stupid to realize what I said, or you're just being a troll, as you typically are. It's funny that you could sit up on your channel, talk all this crap about myself and other people in the indie space. Meanwhile, this is what's happened to you recently, and as soon as I take a small jab at you, now you got all your little sycophants coming at me as usual. Not that I really care, because I can obviously hold my own, and none of this really affects me. All it does is raise the amount of money in my pockets as you guys continue to pocket watch and claim that I make $40 a year, even though emails from payouts come regularly. But Master Hobo right away, he wishes he had Ripazine numbers. Oh, where's your book? You seem to have a lot of opinions about indie comics for someone who's never even made a book, let alone fulfilled one. This is the same type of deflection argument that people make when you take a movie trailer and you criticize the movie trailer. Oh, because you didn't make a movie, or even if you criticize a video game trailer. Oh, you didn't make a video game, so you have no reason to have opinions on this. That's not how this works. It's absolutely not how this works. Reason those trailers go out is because they want to see who they can grab, whose attention they can grab with their movie trailers or video game trailers. And if you can't grab the attention from people who you are trying to sell to, they're not going to buy your product as far as video games, and they're not going to watch your product as far as movies. But someone trying to sit there and put out this meme about ISOM, even though it's the biggest pre-ordered campaign in recent years, and it's based on a company that you like to trash on all the time, that's made more money than most people in the indie space, because there are other creators that have made a lot more, but for some reason this is the one these clowns like to focus on quite a bit, simply for, being successful and having actual fans. And then for some reason there's always seems to be a conspiracy theory like every other week as to how the company has made as much money as it has, even though it's just marketing. It's all it really is. It's not like Eric doesn't market outside of YouTube. He markets on any platform he possibly can. But when you also have clowns who are constantly trying to talk a load of crap, and then they're just here to get BTFO'd as they always do, because obviously the throat goat Ethan Van Sciver thought it was cool to share DMs as he always does, because that's what your typical women do. When they can't win an argument, they will use or try to use stuff against you from years ago, by the way, because these tweets are from years ago. You have clowns like this sharing out these DMs as if I said this recently, which I did not, and I will prove otherwise. Holy crap, because you're a woman who can't just write the curse word because you're too much of a bitch to actually put the freaking curse words there. Renown owes a lot of people, myself included, a massive apology and a bending of both knees. I'm sure that's what you would like to be doing to Ethan Van Sciver behind the T&J's Pizzeria, but it's not me. I'm sorry. This fork-tongued Neanderthal, which again is just another insult you've gotten from somebody else, at least at the very least, I can actually say the person's name rather than just screaming the same NPC nonsense you scream all the time. Just betrayed the Ripatards, again another word that you got from somebody else that literally means nothing. Due to the absolute wrecking we brought down upon him, literally nobody has ever brought down any sort of reckoning, considering my YouTube channel continues to trend upwards and I continue to gain new fans all the time, as well as people who were on that side of CG are finally waking up to what I've been saying for years about the way Ethan Van Sciver decides to treat customers, including the fact that he's okay with doxing former customers. What was that about Throat Goat? Let's figure it out together, shall we? Oh yeah, those tweets are from November 23rd of 2023. Shortly after, what ISOM 2 launched, I think in May of 2023. Don't quote me on that. I don't really remember. I just definitely know it was in 2023. So you thought you had a gotcha by literally sharing DMs from 2 years ago, sometime after, Fraud Tony was coming into the picture, where I was telling EvS that I still like his artwork. Never have I changed on my opinion about that. Never said Ethan's art wasn't great on Cyberfrog. His writing absolutely sucks. So I said, holy crap, you're retarded. Typical retarded haters who try so hard to get a W when the DMs you're showing are from 2 years ago. Keep living your life on your knees in service to your throat goat frog daddy and hold this L and hashtag blame war campaign, which is hilarious because you had no response to this because you knew you had to take this L right away. So what are we really talking about here? And then you have John talking about how haters don't want the pit campaign. No, what people don't want is they don't want the pit campaign going to somebody who is obviously controlling Dale and had clearly, at least in my opinion, allegedly have blackmail on Dale, just like she definitely had blackmail on Kyle Ritter, who, Ethan knows about it. We already know. We've already heard the messages. We've heard the recordings of the blackmail that Mandy Summers has on Kyle Ritter. By the way, Kyle Ritter's an amazing colorist. He really is. Even Starblaze was really good. I have that book and I've read it. That was written by Kyle Ritter. And I say, I'm no hater, but genuinely I would love for the pit campaign to happen because I'm for the consumer and the customer. It seems like a lot of people are absolutely interested in getting a pit omnibus, which is why a lot of people are pissed off or they're disappointed that it has never happened. because obviously there's an audience for Pitt. And honestly, right now, getting Pitt single issues isn't really that expensive to get, in my opinion. But I'd rather have it happen under responsible people, not a whore with no experience of fulfilling a book, as of recent, and an obvious alcohol abuse victim. Pitt has always looked good, yes. I've always said Pitt looks good, which, by the way, Jabba the Cook, please take your L again, because you like to do this thing just like all the other clowns who think I care about likes. The reason I do it to you clowns is because I know you guys get butthurt over it. I personally don't give a crap. This is the tweet right above you, as all you guys swarmed my post as I expected, just like you guys swarmed my Ripperverse post. Thanks for the engagement. I appreciated all the impressions you guys decided to give me by coming over to my channel just because I criticized this entire thing. And then you have Literature Devil, who says Comicsgate book Anatomic, I think it's actually Anatonic, not Anatomic, breaks 100K in 2025. Yes, after 30 days. You know, again, I'm going to be holding CG to their own standards, which is what these idiots refuse to realize. Edmund wrecked harder than his political career. Now we wait for the shriveled balls of anti-CG to impotently ejaculate the next dust cloud of Goalpost. And I respond by saying, I said it before and I'll say it again. CG made the bold claims that if a CG campaign didn't make 100K in a day, or the first day, it's a failure. So being held to the standards they set is what people are doing. It took Shane 30 days to do what Inglorious Rex 3 did in under 12 hours. Something Gary accomplished in less time than Anatonic with an autobiography, not even a comic book. An autobiography of a guy explaining his life called Waiting for Neurotic from prison to YouTube made more money faster than a full-fledged comic book from Shane Davis, or as I like to call him, Smug Davis. So for you to sit up here and say there's going to be goalposts shifted, no, there's probably not going to be any goalposts shifted, at least for me, because literally this is the standard that John Malin set when Yellow Flash put out his book, The Mighty Golden Patriot. Correct? And I'm pretty sure The Mighty Golden Patriot has somewhere maybe between 3 to 4 times more books sold. I think just recently it was 4,000 books sold. And I think Shane might be at like 11 or 1,200 backers. I'm not sure because I don't keep up because I don't truly care. I just kind of see stuff on my feed and I'm just mentioning it. Sturgis has just been proven to be a quote-unquote hater by Coach John Malin delivering facts. And they say, literally not a hater. I've stated in another post, I'm concerned for the consumer and customer of the product actually receiving the product. If people choose to buy and never receive a product, that's on them. It's a lesson I've learned in the past where I am no longer going to be supporting anything CG, and I don't really care. Because the people that are surrounding Ethan who don't say nothing, as Ethan does the bullcrap that he does on a consistent basis, attacking smaller creators for simply speaking out against the bullshit that he puts into the indie space on a consistent basis, ruining it for everyone else who wants to put out a product. Well, now you get no money from me. Congrats. And I've backed multiple She campaigns. I've got Alien Alamo. I've got Inglorious Rex 1 and 2. I've got Godlike, which is a book that has 6 black pages. Three great comic spreads, by the way. Just either black pages or black pages with dots on them. Great comic book right there. And these guys sit around and now they're going around promoting this book that no one should be excited for, in my opinion, because why would anybody be excited for a Cyberfrog series when the dude can't even finish fulfilling Cyberfrog 2, a campaign that launched in 2019, and he's still fulfilling it in 2025 because he got tired of doing head sketches. For the people that paid good money for head sketches from his campaign. So why anybody should be excited for any new Cyberfrog content is beyond me. You've even had in the past his own mods or his own fans or sycophants or whatever say that Dark Harvest was a mess. Dark Harvest was a pointless story. And you guys paid $35 for that, didn't you? You paid $35. So they could count on you to back it. Nope. CG no longer gets my money after backing years of unfulfilled books, especially not Eat the Van Sciver, the guy who is okay with literally telling you that he is okay with doxing former customers. He's done it multiple, he said it on clips. Nobody seems to give a crap, though. Nobody seems to care that all your sycophants, or the CG sycophants, sit there and claim to threaten to want to dox me constantly. Skibbity delater. I am no hater, but here I go hating like the miserable bitter moron that I am. My guy, you literally are in my posts all the time telling people that they should fart blood on a consistent basis. You are not the person to be sitting there thinking you hold any sort of moral ground whatsoever. Like I said before, these are the same guys who literally spit vitriol at me probably almost daily at this point, and they expect me to just sit there and take it and play nice. Nah. We're not doing that. There's literally no hating at all. Why would I hate on a book I'm not buying nor supporting because of the people involved? Hating would require that the people involved have something I want. They do not. I don't need Dale Keown's obvious alcohol problem, and I don't need to sit there and be an internet whore for all of CG as you guys sit there and literally praise a guy who pays for the OF of that one chick from The Sopranos. But for some reason, you guys don't really care about that because you'll say that's none of my business, yet you'll literally still support the guy who is okay with Eric July being harassed at multiple conventions, and you'll sit there and be okay with giving him your address even though he doxed people in the past. Remember, you guys are okay with that, which is perfectly fine. It's your money and it's your life. You want to sit there and give him your address and give him your money, you go right ahead and do that. You go right ahead and do that. Go F yourself, you grotesque blob of hairy, smelly slime. It always comes from people who never show their face. That's why their opinions are invalid to me. So many butthurt losers in the comments, all fat, overweight, out of shape individuals who hide their face. Every single time, bro. Remember, the shirts that sell out the most from EvS are 3XL and 4XL. Once again, something he's admitted himself on camera on live streams. There are plenty of clips out there. When it comes to full and filled, you've definitely got me beat. Congratulations, you can pull up an image that I posted myself. It's not exactly an own, by the way. Not exactly an own. Because I told you that the bottom, what is it, the bottom line? I said, just like your rate of fulfillment. Because I have a low bar, just like your rate of fulfillment. By the way, Jabba the Cuck is a fat motherfucker himself, so he really can't be talking about anybody. Yeah, so congrats. You got me with a photo from 2-3 years ago that I posted myself, whatever will I do. It still doesn't change that you're a failure for filling a comic book or building a YouTube audience. As you sit there and think you're going to build an audience by constantly talking crap about other creators, it clearly isn't working well for you. You can't even break 1,000 subs. So what are we talking about exactly? I'm sorry that you're just proving to the world that I'm a social person. I actually leave my fucking house and go somewhere. That's literally a self-owned for you because you're the same guys who claim I don't go outside and do stuff. But literally you're posting a picture of me at a Geeks and Gamers meetup, by the way. Congratulations. And when I called it a failure, you tried to say people aren't tired of their opinion, and literally, it's just you coping, bro. Like, just stop with the cope, my guy. Just stop with the cope. Whores are whores, said EvS. His words, not mine. Like, I didn't say that. I didn't call Mandy that. EvS called Mandy that. So, remember, you guys take everything at face value, so I'm just holding you guys to the same standard as you are. I'm being consistent. Right? He's fulfilled multiple comics, kiddo. Sturgis, a word you don't know anything about because you just repeat everything you're told because you're a literal NPC. There's absolutely no story behind it outside of two fat, overweight, out-of-shape lolcows, once again, who tried to test my ability to lift, and then they proved that they can't lift themselves and had terrible form. But that's beside the point. So desperate for YouTube clout, he milks himself. Yes, I'm the one that's desperate for YouTube clout, yet you guys are always talking about me. Yet I can go off and talk about something completely different and get way more views. Just looking at my Harry Potter video that I recently put out got more views than any of my recent videos talking about you idiots. So that just goes to show you that people care about Harry Potter more than they care about new CG indie retards who just sit there and cry about other creators on a consistent basis. Lolcows don't grow an audience or trend upwards. I'm pretty sure I don't see Review Tech USA or Boogie2988 or Drunken Peasants or DSP growing in actual audience numbers or trending upwards as far as their growth is concerned. I'm pretty sure the only people that watch them are actual people that don't like them or people that are A-logging them. I have an actual audience that watches me when I do literally anything. Make a video or play video games. Literally my comment section is full of people that have been subscribed for years, have been members for years, have watched me for years, have watched me live stream for years. So I have the evidence to prove that you're an idiot. I literally have the analytics that prove that you're an idiot. I built a successful YouTube channel while working full time. Multiple channels leech off of my clout daily because you guys are so uninteresting. The only thing you can talk about is me. And then when you don't talk about me, nobody cares. Because I've seen channels that leech off of my content that do something else and get little to no people watching. Nobody chatting. Nothing. Cope and seed as you try leeching off of my clout. You can't even define what a lolcow is because none of these guys can. None of these guys can actually define what this is. Remember, these are the same types of people because remember, CG is retarded. They're the same type of people that literally sat there and said that Eric July is a lolcow even as he makes millions of dollars a year doing the thing he's always wanted to do, which was create comics. That's why I do not take these guys serious when they try calling people lolcows. Because they literally circle around lolcows and they don't even realize it. Fraud Tony, freaking EvS, those people, and even Drunken Peasants, these guys all circle actual lolcows. People that have audiences that do not grow. But they want to sit there and talk about how I don't make no money, even though they claim to watch me, right? They claim to watch me. They claim to hate watch me, by the way, but they sit there and tell you, my audience, that there's no donations coming in, there's no memberships happening, and anytime something positive is happening, they try to spin it as some other bullcrap that doesn't actually happen. You had Fartsy himself try to talk about how I get members because I give out free memberships that YouTube gives every single channel every single month. These guys are literally sitting there hovering, trying to figure out what money I make. Remember that. These are the guys that claim that I make no money on YouTube or I only make $40 a year, right? But then they'll sit there and try to figure it out. So if to them, at least for me, if it doesn't matter, why do you care then? Why are you sitting there pocket watching, trying to freaking figure it out like the woman with all the little symbols around her, trying to figure out if I'm making any money at all, even though I know I am. It's really none of anybody's business but my own how much it actually is. But these guys want to circle me like a bunch of ex-girlfriends. So, yes, they do actually. No, they don't. No, they don't. Let me know when I have a Kiwi Farms thread. CG has a Kiwi Farms thread. I've seen Fraud Tony have a Kiwi Farms thread started. Let me know when I have an actual Kiwi Farms thread, bro. Because all the lolcows that are actually on YouTube have all had Kiwi Farms threads, but I don't. Because they're hilariously oblivious about why people are watching, which creates a perpetual milk machine of a channel. Quote, Cope Seed, dude, the only reason I or anyone pays attention to you is to laugh at your complete lack of self-awareness. So you're literally sitting there, right? You're a literal nobody who comes out of nowhere. I don't fucking know you, by the way. You're sitting there trying to defend Commie Mark, and then you're literally telling my audience, that's probably going to be watching this video, that the only reason they watch me is to laugh at my complete lack of self-awareness. Meanwhile, they sit there and become members. They sit there and chat about video games, chat about movies, chat about stuff in their life, chat about comics they love. Constantly in the chat. They constantly watch my videos, they comment on my videos, but for some reason you truly believe the bullshit coming out of your mouth. I said, no, they don't. It's hilarious that you actually think that. Most people that watch me do so because they want to watch me. My analytics don't lie, and neither do the names of my comments, in my comments, sections, and live streams. The cope and seething constantly about me doesn't change these facts. You're never going to change the fact that I literally have people every single day that watch me every single day, that watch every video and every live stream, comment on the live streams and comment on the videos. That is the most biggest cope I've ever seen in my life. It's like the same guys who sit there and cope about the Rippaverse making money. Meanwhile, they have 127 live viewers on a Rippaverse channel, which these guys have no idea how YouTube actually works. You could have, you could take a look at a channel like Nerdrotic. He has over 1 million subscribers. He's not going to have 1 million people watching him live all at once. It's unrealistic to YouTube. There's no channel that has every single person watching them while they're live. You're lucky to even have 10% of your audience watching you while you're live. There are people there that are for videos, there are people that are there for live streams, and there are people that are there for both. That's just the reality of YouTube. But these guys don't actually do YouTube, so they don't know shit about what they're actually talking about. We can always count on Sturgis to be wrong. It's the one thing he never fails at. I'm definitely not wrong about you guys being fat, overweight, out of shape, motherfuckers, because none of you show your face on this platform. None of you show your face at all. And most of the people that buy shirts from EvS either buy 3XL or 4XL. This has already been proven and confirmed by EvS himself. No one is looking at Mandy's lineup that no one talks about, because the only book I've ever heard anybody talk about is Jack the Ripper. That's it. I don't hear nobody talking about Wart the Wizard. Nobody talks about that crap. People are looking at her current actions, just like EvS, and if the Pit Omnibus doesn't hit 100K in a day, I'll be laughing all the way to the bank like I already have been with my successful YouTube channel you claim I don't have. This idiot should probably look up the percentage of people who actually hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. It's actually lower than he probably thinks. In all honesty, my brief experience with you has given me the strong impression that you don't even know what most of the words either of us are using actually mean, because nothing you said here refutes my statement in any way. Everything I said refutes your statements. You claim that I don't have people that watch me that like me. I do. You claimed I'm a lolcow with zero evidence to prove it. From the lolcows I actually know of, which are people like Drunken Peasants, Review Tech USA, DSP, Chris Chan of the like, my channel and personality is nothing like any of those. I just simply make content for people that want to watch it. I appreciate everyone who watches it. I appreciate everyone who gives super chats or super thanks or memberships, because that's what you're supposed to do when you are a YouTuber. You're supposed to humble yourself, because people don't have to do those things. People don't have to watch your content. People don't have to give you super chats. People don't have to give you super thanks. People don't have to membership up. People don't have to watch your live stream. They don't have to do anything. And in real life, time is the most valuable resource. And when people are giving up their time to you, you better appreciate them as a YouTuber, because that is the most valuable resource that they can give you, more than money could ever do. I'm trending upwards as I always have, as in my subs and my views are always going up. I'm sorry you would rather spend your time coping over my success than promoting your projects, because according to your thing, you have this amazing Adventures of Piper, and you're a 15 years in XP, 15 years experience in all these different things, yet you're not doing any of those things. You ain't promoting any of that crap to me, and guess what? I ain't freaking participating in any of that crap you got to sell. So you can go miss me with that shit. Then you have yet another racist from the CG camp. Because again, like I always say, these guys are literal NPCs, and they just repeat whatever they're told and do whatever they do. The deviants aren't going to participate in the Pit campaign. What deviants are you referring to? What deviants? Are you referring to the Saska sisters? You know, again, I'm going to repeat this for the idiot right here. EvS participates in having blackmail that was sent to him by Mandy Summers. He sits there and supports an actual deviant. Mandy Summers is a deviant. By the way, she has me blocked on Twitter because she can't handle criticism, as most CG people can't. You literally support EvS, the guy who buys OF of the chick from The Sopranos while he has a sick wife at home that he should be spending more time with rather than sitting there crying about the black man in indie comics who's been around for 3 years in the indie space, who absolutely destroyed his entire life's craft and outdid him in every part of it. The guy who is more successful that hasn't been in the industry, who is the rookie, outdid the 31-year comic veteran who likes to brag about the fact that he's associated with Jeff Johns, even though he's piggybacking off of Jeff Johns. He's literally the great value Jeff Johns, as I've always said before. His whack-ass clout that he claims to have, he couldn't get a partnership with Todd McFarlane. He couldn't get a partnership with Iron Studios. He couldn't get Mark Miller on his channel. Oh, wait. Yeah. Eric had conversations with Mark Miller, and so did John's Longbox, the same guy that he likes to trash on. John's Longbox, the same guy who he told to break his neck harder. Meanwhile, John's putting in the work with multiple comics. John's working with veterans. Eric's working with veterans from the industry. Who are you working with? Mandy Summers? Who the fuck is that, bro? Who is that? Like, seriously. You know what I don't trust? A house full of monkeys trying to put out this. By the way, this is the black and white version that I bought now recently. But, yeah. I'll give more money to the guy who's actually giving me product that I want. Written by people who actually care about the universe they're creating. By the way, what has EvS got out so far? Blood Honey, Dark Harvest, and Cyberfrog 2, and that's not even fully fulfilled yet. Meanwhile, Eric's got 20 books under his belt in 3 years because he puts in the work and is not acting like a genre farming loser every single day like EvS is. Oh, you mean the product that was creatively chosen to be printed this way? The product that was already proven with evidence that it was meant to be printed this way? Just like Graham Nolan's choice to use a certain font? You stay crying about a product you never bought that you're concern trolling over. Man, the video later is going to be a long one. We're already at 32 minutes, and I'm almost done. This is, again, the type of person who is crying about a product from January, by the way. We're now in July. Funny. We're in July. This is a product from January that majority of people didn't really care about because it didn't affect the story at all. It didn't affect really the transition of the artwork at all. You're sitting there concern trolling over other people. Meanwhile, you're never going to buy the product, right? Me, I would have bought the Pit Omnibus if it wasn't under an individual that clearly doesn't like me, has me blocked, by the way, and she's always sitting there crying about other creators, just like EvS. I don't really care to give money to people that are just all about drama and bullshit. No business whatsoever. Someone who clearly shouldn't have no business in the indie comic space because she's doing the same crap nobody likes. Drama farming. Nobody cares, bro. And then you have this guy saying, I'm gonna laugh at actual factual statements because reasons. Again, this is a guy who claims that he's a USMC veteran but acts like a bitch all the time. He acts like he's never been trained in his life for that. He just acts like a female all the time. Full of soy. This is not a serious person. Is lifting hundreds of pounds supposed to be hard? I can do it for multiple exercises. The real question is, what does this have to do with comics? Because you're one of those EvS sycophants. You're one of those EvS mods that doesn't actually give a crap about indie comics. You're literally acting as if you're also here for drama and blood sports. I'm sure you've been around long enough because you're an EvS mod. But, again, what does this have to do with comics, bro? And by the way, you screenshotted me like a loser. Remember, I don't have any clout, but you had to screenshot me. Remember that. Remember this. You had to screenshot me to give me no clout that I allegedly don't have. Just remember that. like I said, people have this weird conspiracy theory going on once again that it's all the blaze, guys. There must be some funny money going on with the Rippaverse. No, it can't just be that people like the product, that the product is marketed outside of YouTube. Bro, you had John's Longbox literally ask people that he's around in real life what ISOM is. They knew what ISOM was. The person read ISOM and said it was good. Then he asked, what is Cyberfrog? They had no idea what it was. Because nobody gives a shit about a character from the 90s that was supposed to be a Ninja Turtle ripoff, fake Battletoads ripoff, and I'm sure, to this day, simply saying that Earthworm Jim is still more relevant than Cybercuck will piss off EvS, even to this day, because of how much he hates the creator, Doug TenNapel. Meanwhile, the first Earthworm Jim campaign made more money than Blood Honey. First campaign to first campaign. You tell me with the straight face that Dark Money ain't involved in this BS attempt to usurp indie comics and hijack Comicsgate. Bro, nobody in this panel gives a shit about Comicsgate, bro. Nobody is in this stream talking about Comicsgate. Nobody cares, bro. I've had conversations with the Saska sisters, and they laugh at you fucking idiots on a regular basis, but they ignore you because you're professionals. I don't work for the Rippaverse, so I'm allowed to talk my bullshit towards you guys. And it's hilarious watching you guys cope and seethe because the guy you like doesn't make the money that you wish he was making. Because he spends all his time drama tubing and drama farming. Again, the indie guy, the indie black guy, I have to mention that because EvS is an absolute racist based on what the things that he does during live streams whenever he talks about Eric July. And now you got him also saying there's no more puppet shows because the ripoff verse laughs at how bad his Heather Swain book that's going to come out it looks like. Translation: why is the guy I don't like getting all the monies and success we aren't? It's called marketing outside of YouTube. This is great cope. There's always a conspiracy. It can't be that people genuinely buy and enjoy the products. Meanwhile, EvS has 136k subscribers, which I think the Rippaverse account probably has between 23 and 25k subs, and declining with 1k plus viewers, and nobody seems to care. Nobody sits there and questions where the money is coming from. People already know it's the sycophants for EvS who will literally sit there and gobble up and buy anything the man puts out because he can sell you the product. But he's a fucking grifter. So, I mean, like, he's a guy who sit there and make you wait years and years and years for quality and then sometimes not even deliver. Oh, yeah, let's circle Jen and Sylvia Saska and Kane and White, even though Kane and White works with CG. Kane and White works on CG projects. So what are you mad about? This is literally you showing that you're hate-watching somebody. So you look like a loser hate-watching a bunch of people who are excited for a product you're not. It looks pathetic. It makes you look pathetic. Even though, like I said, Kane and White works on CG projects still. I mean, he did a cover, I think, for Death Shroud. So what does this prove? It just proves that you're obsessed with somebody you don't like. You are a loser if you are going around hate-watching other people. I'm sorry, but that's just a fact. You are a loser if you go around hate-watching other people. Something I will never be doing and never have done. Bro, this entire conversation is evidence you're a lolcow. Everything you've said so far has only confirmed my statements, not refute them. You literally made the claim that the only reason people pay attention to me is to laugh at my lack of self-awareness. I refuted it and you made you look stupid. You're literally retarded. You literally said it right there. The only reason I or anyone pays attention to you is to laugh at your complete lack of self-awareness. And I said, no, they don't. Because I see a lot of the same people come back and watch live stream after live stream and watch video after video and support all the time. So what are we doing, bro? Like, what are we actually doing? And like I said, now you have them running with the latest narrative of he makes a whopping $40 a year, bro. He tried to say Shane Davis doing $80K in a couple of days of his current campaign's a failure. Yes, because I'm presenting the standard that CG presented with Mighty Golden Patriot. You are the same guys who are saying the same shit about Mighty Golden Patriot. But when you're held to the same standard, oh, well, he said that. He said that it was a failure. You guys were saying the same crap about Mighty Golden Patriot, even though Mighty Golden Patriot reached 100K before Anatonic. And as of right now, has sold more books. And the books will continue to sell after the campaign's end. And I simply say, no, John Malin made that claim. I'm holding CG to their own standard that they set. If all I made is $40 a year, which is incorrect, and I enjoy watching you losers cope about it, why do you losers love watching my pockets? If this is all I make, right? If $40 was actually all I made on YouTube, even though the support from all of you has been absolutely amazing for the last year, for this half a year. If all I made was $40 a year, why do you guys care when I simply say, I make money on YouTube? I don't brag about how much it is. I don't tell you how much it is. I just simply say, hey, I make money on YouTube making fun of you clowns. If it was not a big deal, this is the same thing I've said about people like Tism Spencer, who like to pocket watch me on a consistent basis, who say nonsense that at this point I'm thinking he doesn't actually believe. Why does it concern you when I say I make money on YouTube? Even though you clowns have no idea how YouTube works. And I've proven that you idiots don't know how YouTube works because of Lumfartsy tried to say that I made, I think like 10 cents or something. He was saying 1,000 views is $1, which is wrong, by the way. It's 100% wrong. Can be proven with simple analytics in the back end of YouTube. You're wrong. Once again, you're wrong. But this has been my day. Man, we are at 42 minutes of just explaining why these guys are stupid, explaining why these guys are retarded, explaining what is wrong, like the problems with the people that are around this CG indie space, and why the indie comic space is so bad as it is. Because literally you have bad actors who complain about the wrong thing, who cry about the wrong thing, who do not talk about comics at all. All they have is insults. It's why I say I won a long time ago. When the only thing you can resort to is actual insults, I won a long time ago. Because not a single person here could even refute what I say. Not a single person. Where is it at here? I find it so hilarious how many of my current haters and even new ones try coming at me for questioning the validity of a pit omnibus being fulfilled for customers, and yet all they have are insults. And the reason that I'm concerned is because I've seen people that would be excited to buy this product. It's like being positive for the customer and consumer is apparently bad. No rebuttals, no counter arguments, literally nothing. Just consume product and get excited for next product. Then you got the CG quote-unquote kings all promoting a new Cyberfrog series while EvS still hasn't finished fulfilling Cyberfrog 2, and they expect people to be excited about it. Rainbow the Fruit is 5 years late. Cybercuck 3 is 2 years late with no recent Indiegogo updates. Don't question the narratives or the sycophants will come at you. As you can see, my notifications blowing up over here. Don't question nothing. Just consume product and get excited for next product. As he hasn't fully fulfilled Cyberfrog 2. He's got multiple campaigns that are late. By the way, multiple campaigns that didn't hit 100K on the first day. So I guess all those books are failures too, like Fearsome and Hierophant. And I think Dark Harvest and I think the Omnibus. Maybe not Dark Harvest. Probably the other three, but you get my point. So I think I've pretty much explained what I had to say in this video. Appreciate y'all for watching it to the end. Smash the like button if you like it. Comment below if you feel about this. Subscribe for more content. Hit the bell for notifications. Set the bell to all. That way you'll get a notification anytime I post a video or go live on the channel. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.